Good evening, and welcome to Sailing in Time by Reading in D29. This is the time where we bring bedtime stories to your home.
We hope you like our authentic jingle created by PS95's production team. Jason Jean and Deborah Jean, performing arts instructor. Vocals by PS95 Student Harmony Choir and Yvette Torres, music director, as well as Miss Antoinette Glasgow, dance choreographer.
Also, the rapping lyrics brought to you by Deborah Jean. A big shout out to the administrative team at PS95, Principal Kim Hill, Miss Williams, and Miss Fennell for their leadership and for supporting D29's Literacy Initiative. It's a family affair here at D29. My name is Ifani Umezoke.
And I'm Allison Bruder.
We are from District 29, the district that shines. We are students from PS 181's Blazer TV, where Dr. Lisette Olivo is our principal.
We'll be your Sailing Time host this Sunday. This is the time where District 29 joins you and your families as we bring literacy to your homes. We bring guest readers to you every Sunday at 7 p.m., except on holidays. Under the leadership of our superintendent, Dr. Crystal Barnes, our Sailing in Time meeting series aligns with the Mayor and Chancellor Literacy Initiative. NY City Reads, supporting bright starts and bold futures.
And now we want to share our mystery word from this evening's book of choice. The mystery words are thrift and shuffling. Let's take a moment to review the definitions.
The definition of thrift is saving money carefully.
And the definition of shuffling is mixing things up randomly, like when you're playing Uno.
Make sure you share the mystery words with your ELA teacher, noting that you joined Sailing in Time by reading in D29 on this date. We will see at the end of the month which school will win prizes in celebration of being the school with the most students who tuned in this evening.
Also, please don't forget to answer the survey poll and scan the QR code that appears on the screen to add your name, grade, and school.
I'm so excited to announce our reader for this evening. Tonight, our guest reader is Khalil Anderson.
Assembly member Khalil M. Anderson was elected to serve District 31 in Queens for his first term in November 2020. He represents Brookville, Far Rockaway, Hamels, Rosedale, South Ozone Park, Springfield Gardens, parts of Avern, and John F. Kennedy International Airport. Khalil Anderson is the youngest Black Assembly member ever elected in New York State history. We present to you this evening Khalil M. Anderson.
Hello, good greetings. I am State Assembly Member Khalil Anderson, and I am proud to represent the 31st Assembly District in Southeast Queens. The 31st Assembly District includes the neighborhoods of parts of Far Rockaway, Edgemere, Arvern, and Rockaway Beach. Rosedale, Springfield Gardens, South Ozone Park, South Richmond Hill, and the entirety of JFK Airport. I serve as your state legislator. I serve as your liaison between state government and the people, ensuring that resources are properly delivered to your communities, to your friends, to your family, and to your neighbors. Today, I'm excited to be joining District 29's Sailing and Reading program. I'm excited also to be reading Those Shoes by Maribeth Botels, and it's illustrated by Noah Jones. It's a really exciting book that talks about children's needs to understand how important it is to value the things that we need over the things that we want. So I'm excited again to be reading Those Shoes by Noah Jones, who's the illustrator, and Mary Beth Botels, who is the author. This is also a picture book, so I'll be sharing the photos with you all throughout my reading. Those Shoes by Mary Beth Hotels, illustrated by Noah Z. Jones. I have dreams about those shoes. Black high tops, 2 white stripes. Grandma, I want them. There's no room for what want around here, just need, Grandma says. And what you need are new boots for the winter. Brandon T comes to school in those shoes. He says he's the fastest runner. Now, not me. I was always the fastest before those shoes came along. Nate comes to school in those shoes. Antonio and I count how many times Nate goes to the bathroom. 7 times in one day, just so he could walk up and down the hall real slow. Next, Alan, Jacoby, and Terrence each get a pair. So as you can see, everyone has a pair in this picture. Then one day, in the middle of kickball, one of my shoes comes apart. Looks like you can use a new pair, Jeremy, said Mr. Alfred, the school counselor. He brings out a box of shoes and other stuff he has for kids who need things. He helps me find the only shoes that are my size, Velcro, like the ones my little cousin Marshall wears. They have an animal on them from a cartoon I don't think any kid ever watched. When I come back to the classroom, Alan Jacoby takes one look at my Mr. Alfred shoes and laughs. And so do Terrence, Brandon T, and everyone else. The only kid not laughing is Antonio Parker. At home, Grandma says, "How kind of Mr. Alfred." I nod and turn back. I'm not going to cry about any dumb shoes, but when I'm writing my spelling words later, every word looks like the word shoes. And my grip is so tight on my pencil, I think it might bust. On Saturday, Grandma says, "Let's check out those shoes you're wanting so much." I got a little bit of money set aside, might be enough, you never know. At the shoe store, Grandma turns those shoes over so she can check the price. When she sees it, she sits down heavy. "Maybe they wrote it down wrong," I say. Grandma shakes her head. Then I remember the thrift shops. What if there's a rich kid who outgrew his or got 2 pairs for Christmas and had to give one of them away? We ride the bus to the first thrift shop. Black cowboy boots, pink slippers, sandals, high heels, every kind of shoes except the ones I want. We ride the bus to the second thrift shop. Not a pair of those shoes in sight. Around the corner is a third thrift shop. I see something in the window. Black shoes with 2 white stripes, high tops, perfect shape, $2.50. Those shoes. My heart is pounding hard as I take off my shoes and hitch up my baggy socks. "How exciting," Grandma says. "What size are they?" I shove my foot into the first shoe, curling my toes to get my heel in. I don't know, but I think they fit. Grandma kneels on the floor and feels my toes at the end of the shoe. Oh, Jeremy, she says, I can't spend good money on shoes that don't fit. I pull the other shoe on and try to walk around. They're okay, I say, holding my breath and praying that my toes will fall off right then and there. But my toes don't fall off. I buy them anyway with my own money and I squeeze them on and limp to the bus stop. At home a few days later, Grandpa puts a new pair of snow boots in my closet and doesn't say a word about my two big feet shuffling around in my two small shoes. Sometimes shoes stretch, I say. Grandma gives me a hug. I check every day, but those shoes don't stretch. I have to wear my Mr. Alfred's to school instead. One day during math, I glance at Antonio's shoes. One of them is taped up and his feet look smaller than mine. After school, I head to the park to think. Antonio's there, the only kid that didn't laugh at my Mr. Alfred shoes. We shoot baskets. A loose piece of tape of Antonio's shoe smacks the concrete every time he jumps. I think I'm not going to do it. We leap off the swings. Not gonna do it. We race from one end of the playground to the other. I'm not gonna do it, I say. Do what? Antonio says, breathing hard. Grandma calls me for supper and invites Antonio over too. After supper, he spies my shoes. How come you don't wear them? Antonio asks. I shrug. My hands are sweaty. I can feel him wishing those shoes were his. That night, I'm awake for a long time thinking about Antonio. When morning comes, I try on my shoes one last time. Before I can change my mind, the shoes are in my coat. Snow is beginning to fall as I run across the street to Antonio's apartment. I put the shoes in front of his door, push the doorbell, and run. At school, Antonio's smiling big in his brand new shoes. I feel happy when I look at his face and mad when I look at Mr. Alfred's shoes. But later, when it's time for recess, something happens. Everywhere, there is snow. Leave your shoes in the hallway and change into your boots, the teacher announces. Leave your shoes in the hallway. It's then I remember what I have in my backpack. New boots! New black boots that no kid has ever worn. Standing in line to go to recess, Antonio leans forward and says, thanks. I smile and give him a nudge. Let's race. And that's the end of the story called Those Shoes. Again, written by Mary Beth Hotels, illustrated by Noah Jones. Teaches us the story of why it's important to ask for what we need and not the things that we want. To making sure that we choose things that use cognitive reasoning skills to choose the things that we need versus the things that we want. And the moral of the story of this book is that there's always someone else less fortunate that can benefit from the things that we think that we want versus the things that we need. And it's important to make sure that we are fair in our approach and we're fair in our thinking, understanding that resources are limited, and that everyone can benefit from something positive if we all share and look to uplift each other. Thank you all so much, District 29, to the entire PS 181Q staff and your principal, Dr. Olivo. Thank you for having me today. to read this very important book, and I hope that you took out the same skills and lessons that I took out.
My goodness, look at all the interviewers. I'm excited.
Thank you, Assemblyman Anderson, for meeting with us today. We appreciate the funding you awarded our school so we can have new air conditioning, new laptops, and a new auditorium and gym. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So we do have some questions for you today. And our Vice President, Allison, will be starting us off. What inspired you to become an Assemblyman?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Allison. Thank you so much. Part of what inspired me to become a member of the Assembly and to run for office to become a member of the Assembly is a lot of the issues that we saw in the neighborhood where I grew up. I grew up in the Rockaways, and it's a working poor community where there are families that are struggling to make ends meet, but there's such a beautiful spirit about our neighborhood that even though the odds are against us, we still persevere. And so at the time I ran for office, there was issues across our city and across the nation with police brutality. And so I wanted to become a voice and continue to be a voice for young people who were being impacted by police brutality, individuals who were being impacted by police brutality.
And what do you do as an Assemblyman every day? Like, is it the same or is it different?
Every day is different. It's a very good question, Allison. Every day is different, but my primary responsibility is advocating for you all who are my bosses. Every 2 years, I have to go before you and your parents and ask to keep my job, and that's called an election. And so each day, I'm working hard to prove to you all that I should continue to serve you. That means writing laws. That means passing laws. That means ensuring that I'm advocating for more money for our schools and for our communities. And that also means making sure that we have programs that are coming out of our office that help meet the needs of our communities.
Can you tell us anything about a project that you're working on right now? Is it fun? Is it mixed feelings that you have about it?
Yes, a project that I'm working on now. So right now, I'm working on this amazing project that I actually closed the deal on last month. So I believe that every student should be talking about climate change, should be talking about the environment, and should be talking about things that are impacting us, not just right now, but in the future. And so one of the things that I'm working on right now is I'm trying to give access to all students, first starting out in the Rockwinds, and we're going to spread it across the district, access to aquaponics. When I was in 8th grade, and also my first few years of high school, one of the things that I advocated for around the issue after Superstorm Sandy was to make sure that communities can access food for themselves. So that when we're faced with a disaster, we have food in our community that people can eat while everything is happening with a disaster. I'm a Superstorm Sandy survivor, and I knew what it was like to not have food for a few days after the storm. And so one of the things I'm working on is building aquaponics labs across my district so that young people can learn in their school building how to grow fresh produce, so that that fresh produce can be stored, so that if there is an emergency, people will know how to, one, know how to grow their own food, but two, create different food systems.
What's the most fun part of your job?
Wow. Honestly, the most fun part of my job, giving out money. When we can secure your tax dollars, your parents' tax dollars, and bring it right back to the community.
How do you make decisions that affect our neighborhood?
How do I make decisions? The first thing I like to do is listen. I have to hear what people are saying. And I have to hear how many people are saying it, who's saying it, so that I know that it's truly a problem. The second thing I try to do is look at the resources that are available to then resolve that issue that I'm hearing about. So I try to follow those two steps in making decisions about where to allocate resources, what's a priority, how many people are speaking about it, what resources are available to solve the issue or to begin to chip away at the issue, and so on.
What do you like to do on your free time when
Basketball.
you're not working?
Basketball. I was literally in the gym this morning, and it's crazy because I used to hate basketball. I literally used to hate it because they used to make us play it in high school as a part of gym. But then I started taking a liking to it, and whenever I have free time, I like to play basketball, and I also love to ride my bike. I ride my bike a lot on the boardwalk in the Rockaways.
Me too.
Thank you for coming here.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. I always love coming to
Yeah.
PS181. This is my
We
favorite.
really appreciate you coming.
Thank you all. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you again, and I thank the amazing teachers that helped make today happen.
Thank you, scholars and families, for joining us for Selling Time by Reading in District 29.
Scholars, please don't forget to scan the QR code to enter your name, grade, and school. Thank you to all, and have a good night.